Thank you. I appreciate that. How's it going, Molly? How's it hanging? And Tony, how are you doing today? Dermo, how's it going? Yeah, there are a few people watching, aren't there? Oh, it's always nice, isn't it? More the merrier, I suppose. How's it going, Germany? Yeah, this is a nice hobby. Nice to see you watching from all the way across the world. Yeah, no kidding, right? That's something. Hey, how's it going, Canada? It's probably colder there than it is here. Kevin, nice to see you. Avika, Sylvania. Man, that's a long ways off. And my target's got ice chunks in there. It's warm right now in Canada. I'm always trying to be careful. You know, I do the best I can to be careful. And it's not always possible, but that's true. That's 29. Thank you. I don't get that a lot. Manuel, how's it going? Yeah, it's a good hat. My wife got it for me. She works for a liquor store, so it's easy to get beer hats. Hello, guy who speaks Arabic. Wish I could understand you. How are you doing today? Yeah, thank you, man. I'm gonna try not to hurt myself. That's, one of my number one goals. Vermix, how are you doing today? How's it going, guy in the Cyrillic alphabet? Oh, Brazil, what's happening? I'm in South Dakota. I'm in southeastern South Dakota, if we're going to get exact, How many hits? Well, I usually hit the target darn near every time. This is something I do pretty commonly. I do a lot of target practice. You know. Yeah. Yeah. I hope a lot of people come visit Eastern South Dakota. You are definitely invited. I wouldn't come visit right now. Thank you. Thank you, Seven. Appreciate that. Yeah, I would really like to do that. Put a second camera up down by the target. It is kind of a pain in the ass. I'd need to get, you can't see it right now, but there's a nice big barn behind me right here, and I'd need to get a Wi-Fi extender. That's true. That's true. Got to stay positive. I don't know if you want to come to my house. Hello, Australia. How are you? Shank, how's it going? Yeah, I do have quite a few arrows. I have quite a collection. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Oh, Hyderabad. I've heard of that place. There's a lot of places in India. I didn't realize how big of a country India is, but there is a lot going on over there. I'm from the United States, from the upper Midwest. Hey, thanks a lot. I never really thought what I was doing out here would be that interesting, but there are quite a few people who kind of seem to be interested in what I'm doing out here, more than I thought there'd be. So that's cool. I'm not really doing anything special, but some people like to watch. I think I'll be able to make more interesting content in the summertime. Right now when the whole place is frozen, I'm kind of limited as to what I can do. But I think in the summertime, making hay and, when I'm hatching out chicks. Indiana, how's it going? Yeah, and I do like to go and, take pictures of wildlife and shit like that, and I think I'll be able to get out and do that more once we have fairer weather. I do have some game cams out, and I'm hoping to I've got a pretty healthy coyote population out here. I'm trying to get some videos of them. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, actually, around here, there's not necessarily a lot of people from India, but there's a lot of people from Nepal, kind of places around India have settled around here, and they're pretty cool dudes. I definitely like the food that they make. You know, I've never even heard of Igloo, South Dakota, but there are a lot of towns around here that are pretty much abandoned, you know, and that's a shame. But what do? You know, you got to go where the jobs are. I'm lucky enough to where the town I'm in is close to one of the larger cities around here, so it's kept us alive. But you know, a lot of places around here have just died. Oh, well, thank you very much. How's it going, Michael? The Black Hills is kind of making a comeback, though. You know, there's a lot of out-of-staters that want to move over by Rapid City, you know, so I think a lot of the towns around there are getting a boost. Yeah. Yeah, mining activity does cause some both positive and negative things. That is for certain. But yeah, kind of during the past couple of years, there's been a lot of people moving to the state of South Dakota. I'm actually just using a cheap straight talk phone, you know, straight from Walmart. You know, it's Motorola something. Huh. Yeah. Well, there's some stuff I really don't know how to respond to, you know? Hey, I was just in Arizona, at the beginning of spring. I went down through Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado. Well, thank you very much. I actually enjoyed Arizona quite a bit. I was over in Payson, and then I went through the Navajo Nation in New Mexico, and that was pretty rad. No, this guy's not very happy. Tapek. Yeah, definitely. When I went to Arizona, it wasn't like super duper hot, so I was pretty happy about that. But I'm sure it gets just blazing down there. I don't know. I mean, how do you really get, you know, into a compromise on here? You know, that, I don't know. I'll try and respond to anything anybody says to me. You know, I want to, you know, respond. Greetings, Germany. That's where my great grandpa was from. Well, actually, Friesland. I don't know. Have you ever been to Friesland? It's over by Germany. Oh, really? Yeah, I never made it over to Tucson. Oh, yeah. See, my mother-in-law is down in Florida. I think she's over kind of by Fort Lauderdale. But she's really enjoying that. I have never, well, I can't say that. I mean, I've had birds go behind the target and they could have gotten hit. I haven't done it yet. My cat also likes to walk over by the, you know, target. I've got to watch out for her. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the Midwest. Yeah, I try not to kill too many things. You know, it's not really what I like to do. I don't really like to kill anything. I do periodically kill some of my birds. I mean, I eat them, you know. It's just the way it goes. But it's my least favorite thing to do, you know. I'm not like somebody who really enjoys that. Jack Churchill. Hey, Minnesota, how's it going? You get any of this snow? Never heard of Jack Churchill. You know, there aren't any squirrels in this general area right here, but even if there were, I'm not gonna shoot a squirrel unless I plan on eating it, and I don't, so I'm not gonna do that. Mainly what I shoot at is fish. You know, if anybody's wondering, that's why I do all this target practice, is to go bow fishing. I really enjoy doing that. Yeah, exactly. You know, I've never been much of a big deer hunter. I mainly just hunt birds, you know, geese, pheasants, ducks, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to get out and do some deer hunting. It's just, I don't know, I didn't grow up doing it. Huh. You carried a bow and arrow during World War II? Oh, really? Yeah, see, we got about 6 inches here. I'm surprised you guys didn't get more. I cannot imagine being in World War II with a bow and arrow. I would not feel equipped for the situation. I'm usually standing above the fish. There are a lot of creeks that run through this area. In fact, there's one right there I like to do bow fishing in down there. But normally I'm on like bridges or up on, you know, the bank shooting down at fish. No, I'm not a deer hunter, to be honest with you. Yeah, you know, I try to have respect for any animal that I eat. You know, these are all God's creatures, and I've got, you know, no right to abuse them for no reason. You know, you know, and that goes for the same. You know, for the animals in my care, I try and make it as comfortable for them as possible. How do I handle refraction? Oh, like when I'm shooting in the water. Usually when I'm shooting at the fish, I'm shooting at fish that are along the surface, you know, so that's not, you know, such a problem. But if you were shooting something like a foot below the water, that's definitely going to be an issue, and it's going to affect the way you aim. But you know, with the fish I'm shooting at, I normally don't have that problem. Oh, the reflection off the water, yeah. Well, you know, you can use polarized sunglasses. That's one way to deal with that, or just go into areas where it's not so sunny. And maybe I'll make some videos on that. Maybe I'll do some bow fishing videos or something like that. And who knows? I don't know. Well, thank you for calling me nice. I appreciate that. Not exactly Robin Hood. I'm not as good of a shot as some of the people I know, that's for sure. But I try and practice quite a bit. You know, and when you're out shooting fish, you're not usually, you know, 50 yards away from them. Usually it's, you know, 15, maybe 20 yards. Yeah, the refraction of the water when you're shooting at a fish that's, you know, any distance below the water is going to be an issue. That's for sure. I'm in southeast South Dakota. I'm right on the border of Iowa. I'm fairly close to Minnesota. Fairly close to Nebraska. Hello, Poland. Yes, this is America. This is the middle of America. Poland. Every time somebody from Poland comes in here, the only thing I really know about Poland is you make really good sardines. I'm a big fan of sardines. And Poland, and every once in a while somebody from Morocco chime in. They have good sardines. I'm in South Dakota. Yeah, Poland does have great sausage. I've never actually had a sausage from Poland, though. I've never, an imported Polish sausage. But I have had sardines from Poland, and they're excellent. How's it going, Bulgaria? Yeah, you know what? Webster's a great town. I think some people that move here have a little bit. Good luck. Yep, take her easy, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, some people that move here, I think, have a little bit of buyer's remorse. But if you've come here and kind of see what it's like and enjoy it, it can be a great place to live. But how's it going, UK? You haven't seen snow there in Canada for years? I'm shocked. Unless you're by the coast, I suppose. Maybe the coastal effect makes it a little different. Where you're not getting so much snow. That target, no. I'm shooting at about 15 yards, so I'm not going to miss very often. Yep. I've heard that saying. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Liverpool, how's it going? Yes, it is fun. Archery is a great hobby. I suggest everyone do it. How's it going, France? You guys learned a little bit about archery from the English, I believe. At Agincourt or whatever. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Really? That's crazy. There's a town directly north of me in Canada that my wife always wants to visit. I think it's Winnipeg. She's always bitching at me to get my passport so we can go up to Winnipeg or whatever. I've heard that place is actually really nice. I'm not quite sure where Vancouver is. Well, thank you. Hey, what's happening, Kansas City? I wouldn't say recurve archery is particularly, dangerous. I mean, anything's dangerous if you don't do it correctly. But I'd say it's probably more dangerous for those around you than to the user themselves. This is a deer seeker, the cheap Amazon bow. It absolutely is. And it's been a great bow. I mean, and that's one of the great things about archery is it doesn't have to be an expensive hobby either. Hey, how's it going, Florida? Shit, I figured down in Florida you'd have all sorts of stuff to shoot at. Su puede matar lobos. I do not speak Spanish, unfortunately. Mi povas parole io mete la Esperanton. Sed neniu parolas tiun lingvon. Ireland. Do I hint with the bow? I have no. Oh yeah, do I hint? Yeah, fish. I hunt fish and sometimes rabbits. I eat a rabbit every now and again. But I mean, you've got to eat those. Yeah, really, they do need a translator for this. I'm shooting right-handed. I'm a left-handed person, but I shoot right-handed. But the camera actually flips it around, so when you're watching me, it looks as though I'm shooting left-handed. Right now I'm shooting a 35-pound bow. I personally wouldn't shoot I'm in South Dakota. I personally wouldn't shoot a deer with a 35-pound bow. You can. I wouldn't do it. I'm a forklift driver. But I've had many jobs. I'm currently a forklift driver. I used to be a pawnbroker and a goldsmith. I've been a cake decorator. I was a welder for quite a few, about 6 years. I was a welder. I spent a lot of time doing that. I kind of bounce around. I do different things. Aquí entendos un pato. Mine cias quio tion signifas. I don't know. Why did I quit welding? I quit welding because I was doing production welding, and oh yeah, 70-pound crossbow would do that. But yeah, I was doing a lot of production welding. I was welding livestock equipment, and in the place I was in, you know, I'd come home, I'd be hacking up all kinds of shit, pulling black shit out of my nose, and I just thought eventually, you know, I'm kind of a health conscious person in a way. I thought that was going to be bad for me in the long run, so yeah, thanks. I like my eyes and my beard too. I thought it was eventually going to, you know, kill me. So I decided to do something else. But I would go back to welding if I had to. It's not a bad job. Pays well, but it's not my first choice. And I'm not like a health nut. You know, I work out. I, you know, try and eat relatively healthy, but I do things like chew tobacco and I smoke every now and again and shit like that. I mean, I'm not like thinking I'm going to live forever. You want to give me a kiss and a hug? Yeah, well, get ready for a mouthful of Copenhagen. Hope you enjoy that. I know my wife doesn't. I think she'd rather that I quit. Yeah, man. I actually am a hay farmer myself. I do small round bales. You know, like something out of an Alice Chalmers rotobaler. Boy, you're in love with me. Well, you barely know me, brother. So I'd get to know me a little bit more before you start going that direction. When will I go fishing? Well, I'm definitely not going to go fishing right now. Probably in the spring. I'm going to be doing quite a bit of that. So that's going to be around April. Yeah, man. There's your smile. Hope you enjoyed that. Well, I mean, being a pipe fitter and doing that shit paid a little bit more than what I was doing. I was welding like cattle gates and bull feeders and shit like that. Bottom of the barrel type welding. I got a few certificates for like overhead shit, and I started welding, you know, those hoop buildings that you see with like the tarps over them. I started welding those for a while, and that paid a little bit better, but these are plastic feathers on here. And you know what's funny is I have all these birds around here. They drop feathers all over the place. I could probably put them on these arrows if I wanted to. I'm just too lazy, apparently. I don't know. Maybe I'll try that. You know, one thing I've always wanted to do is make a self bow. You know, I got all this wood out here. You know, I could make my own bow. That would be kind of a fun thing. Well, quack, quack. I wonder what that means. Sure, something interesting. How old am I? I'm 37. Yeah. No, I don't make my own arrows. We had a flood a couple years ago that really knocked down the pheasant population. And I don't know if they've fully recovered from that. I hope they do. You know, I was out walking my field the other day and I flushed up 30 birds. Hello, India. How are you? So, I mean, there's a few on my property here, but not... Yeah, I wish I could give you one of them great big virtual hugs. I wish I could do that. But, you know, unfortunately I can't. You know, Bernie was on cam earlier, Jenny. I don't know where she is now. She's out probably hunting up a mouse or something. Yeah, pheasants are pretty good, you know. Hey, how's it going, Black Hills? How you doing? How's the snow out there? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would probably be better to use actual feather veins on this. Hey, how's it going, Philippines? I will say this. Out of all the places you can get coconut water from, the Philippines have the absolute best. They're my absolute favorite place to get coconut water from. Love, Iran, and Philistine. I think you may have spelled the place you're trying to, I don't know if you're trying to say Palestine. I don't know. Hey, how's it going, Ukraine? Brazil, what's happening? No, it's not a Samick sage. Really wish it was. A little bit more of an expensive bow than what I have here. I'm shooting at about 15 yards. How's it going, Louisiana? Ohio. Show me your best friend. Well, you know, I can't. My best friend isn't here right now. That would be my old lady. Hey, thanks a lot, man. You take her easy, Cast. Yeah, that's pretty crazy that you love me. How's it going, Poland? Once again, it's hard to determine if you actually love someone through the internet. Hello, Netherlands. How are you? I'm in South Dakota. I'm in southeastern South Dakota, close to the Iowa, Nebraska borders, Minnesota border, stuff like that. Hey, thanks very much. You have a good time too. I hope you go do something fun. Oh, there's plenty of ducks up here. Yeah, I'm sure you can shoot through a body panel. I'm pretty confident of that. Yeah, there's all kinds of ducks up here. For sure. Ducks, geese. Bunch of different kind of herons, cranes, and shit. How's it going, Brazil? The Netherlands. A lot of people from the Netherlands today. I don't even know if I've ever seen anybody from the Netherlands in here. 2 today, though. Lots of Brazilians, though. I see them all the time. Hey, how's it going, India? Hello. Czech Republic. That is a cool place, the Czech Republic. I've heard, you know, I've watched like documentaries about the Czech Republic, and that's somewhere I've always wanted to go visit. All that kind of Eastern Europe type places are just so cool looking, you know. California, that's where my wife's from, man. I've been to California. I'm shooting right at this target here where the tip of my arrow is. I am from South Dakota. Jamaica. I worked with a guy from Jamaica. He was from Montego Bay. Really cool guy. Really enjoyed working with him. That was back when I was a pawnbroker. Hey, how's it going, mate? And Brazil. I'm guessing up north, you mean Canada. How's it going? Nice to see everybody. Yeah, I've never been to Jamaica, but the way that guy talked about it, it sounded really nice. Albania. I don't know much about that place. Brazil, of course. Hello again. Guy writing in Arabic. Who knows what that means? Wish I knew. I don't know if I'd be even capable of learning that language. No, I'm hitting the target. You'll know when I don't hit the target because the arrow will skid across that snow all the way into that grass and I'll never see it again. I'm a forklift driver. You know, nothing special. Switzerland, how's it going? And Portugal. And whoever's flag that is, I don't know who. Hey, how's it going, Russia? And India. And there I missed. Not paying attention, and I finally missed. And that arrow, I will not find that until I hit it with the lawnmower in spring. Oh, it's the Latvian flag. Looks like the Turkish flag there, too. Man, we got people from all over in the place. What's the point? What's the point of shooting that target? I don't know, to get better at shooting the target, I guess. I'm a philosophical person. I would not say that. I would not say that at all. I do not do a lot of deep thinking. I am in South Dakota. Bonjour, France. I do not know any French. Wish I did. Two French people. I know of Esperanto and French share a lot of the same words. Like fromaggio, I believe, is French for cheese. Or fromage or something. And I think mangeau, isn't that food in French? I don't know. It's bound to be close. Hey, Thailand. How's it going? Camber. Thailand seems like a cool place. It seems like a good place to get in trouble, though. But I'm sure that's not everywhere in Thailand. Aprender. Francés n'est pas difficile à aprender. French is not difficult to understand, yeah. But the only reason I can understand that is because I've studied Esperanto. That is the only reason. Vin Rouge. I don't know what that means. Shithole Los Angeles. Hey, I wouldn't say that, man. Hey, Australia, how's it going? I've never been to LA, but my wife lived in LA and she loved it, man. She had a great time there. Apparently, not great enough time to stay. I think it's a little bit expensive. You know, cost of living is quite a bit lower here. How long ago? I think like probably 13 years since she's been in LA. Hey, Romania, what's happening? Bodrum, Turkey. I have eaten raccoon. I've eaten barbecued raccoon. Oh, you're in the middle of the Amazon? Moscow? Man, people are from everywhere. Ask her how my dick tastes. Oh, here we go. Here's an asshole in the chat. Those cars are like probably 200 yards away. I'd have to be doing the whole high arc and rainbow shot if I was going to even have a chance at hitting those cars. Ciao d'Italia. How's it going, Italy? Don't know any Italian. Hey, South Africa, what's happening? I've only ever met one person from South Africa. I'm from the United States. This is a 35-pound bow. I always use a 35-pound bow for target practice. Hey, thanks a lot, brother. Hey, Vermont, what's happening? Scotland. That's a cool place. You guys raise a lot of sheep out there, don't you? Hey, United Kingdom, what's happening? Oh, once again, it would be highly difficult to hit that road. I understand that you don't get to see the topography of this ground really, because it kind of, goes off into the distance there. But this, where I'm standing, is a hill. And that hill leads down to a creek. I would literally have to I'd have to be sky busting to hit those cars. Hey, don't fuck sheep in Scotland. But I used to be a goat farmer and always wanted to get into sheep. And I still might. You never know what I might do. Chili, what's happening? There's a little more Russian. Man, there are people from everybody in here. They're everywhere. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, my shooting's all right. I mean, it's not as good as some people I know. But it's definitely good enough not to hit a car from here. Yeah, England did produce the best longbow shooters in the world. They certainly did. Man, that was a bad shot. Yeah. I have a lot of people who come in here and say Robin Hood. That is one of the most frequently said things in this whole stream is Robin Hood. People are compelled to say that anymore. But no, I am not Robin Hood. I am not that good. How's it going, Francisco? How's it going, Jada? No, I'm not getting paid for this. Yeah, I worked at McDonald's once. I absolutely did when I was a teenager, and it's not a bad job. I'm not going to shit on working at McDonald's. I have geese, ducks, chickens, things like that. Yeah, shit, that was one of the best jobs I ever had. Fuck. Sit around and eat French fries all day. That didn't bother me a bit. All right, Husman, you take her easy. Get a good night's sleep. You love Donald Trump. I'm left-handed, but I shoot right-handed. But because of the camera, it looks as though I'm shooting left-handed. But I'm not. Ciao, ciao. Yep, you take her easy, brother. Have a good night. Tazalik, how's it going? Hey, what's up? Come over here. Okay, you want me to bring wood in? There's no wood in there. Okay. Yeah, I had a cup of tea earlier in that and left it there. Old lady just got home. I'm from South Dakota. How's it going, Slovenia? Who, me? Yeah. Yeah, I should get out of here, shouldn't I? What am I doing here? Can I German? No, I can't German. Unfortunately not. My last name is German. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it is German. My great-grandfather was German. I am well. How are you? I just bow fish. I don't hunt deer or anything like that. I bow fish and I'll shoot a rabbit every once in a while, but that's about it. Most of the hunting I do is with a shotgun. I do not want to kill a deer. No, I'm not a fan of Hitler or anything like that. I'm actually not a fan of politics. I mean, if we're going to be go into that, I'm not a real political person. Or any of that stuff. Yeah, man, having fun with the bow and arrow is great. Huh. Yep. I don't know, man. There's a big obsession with that stuff right now. And I'm shooting a target down here. Yeah, I mean, that topic of conversation has really gotten big in the United States as of late, but I think it's probably unhealthy, mentally. But yeah, I'm shooting at this target down here. Yeah. No, I'm not freezing. This is a 35-pound bow. My first name is Dylan. Can I say a word of German? Tago, or Tag, Guten Tag, Danke, Kühlschrank, I think that means fridge. Yeah. I don't know if there are a lot of tweakers in South Dakota. I'm sure there are definitely some, you know. Yeah, there's definitely snow around here. Oh, yeah, no, my German is not great. It absolutely isn't, I assure you. This person, what is your name? Melissa, is having a bad day. She woke up on the wrong side of the bed. But you know what? That's fine. You know, we're not all going to be happy. You know, not everybody's going to be having a good day. That's just the way it goes, you know? Ah. All right, you take her easy. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's an okay recurve. Oh, man. I think a lot of people are mad nowadays, you know? Just generally pissed off. And that's just, you know, something everybody has to deal with. I don't know. I'm shooting at about 15 yards. That's what I'm shooting right now. Oh, well, I mean, there's everything on that there internet. You know, I'm sure you could find some on there somewhere. Or maybe you could make your own, you know, get a dowel, you know, and fashion some kind of arrow out of that. I mean, people have been making arrows for thousands of years. I don't see why someone couldn't make one 40 inches. Yeah. How fucking long are your arms? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could pull it off. I don't see why not. I mean, couldn't you just buy bare rods? You know, like just straight arrow shafts that are 40 inches? Oh, a 90-pound recurve? Boy, that's going to be a bitch to be shooting that all the time. Yeah, if I had a 90-pound recurve, I don't think I'd be shooting it this many times in a row. I can tell you that. Yeah, I'm sure your AR-10 does have more reach in it. Whoa. That's some pretty deep stuff there, Deonde for peace. I prefer Samsung because it's cheaper and it works just as good. Yeah, there was that comet or something heading towards Earth, though, isn't there? What are they? I don't know if it's a comet or an asteroid or some shit. All right, Deonde. He's got some shit going on. Preparing for the comet. It's probably good advice. I can't remember the name of that thing coming towards Earth. What is that thing? It's just some numbers and then some other shit. I don't know how you prepare for an asteroid strike, you know? I don't think there's a whole lot you can do. Three Eye Atlas. There you go. Yeah, I think there's a guy. I don't know if any of you guys listen to Coast AM. Probably not. Nobody listens to that show anymore. But somebody was on there saying that it was like a spacecraft or some shit. Exactly. We'll all just pool our resources and fire at the comet. Oh, gotcha. Tweaker tube. I'm from South Dakota, actually. The better Dakota. Yeah, there you go. Maybe I should ask ChatGPT about what I should do, How I can better prepare myself for Atlas. There you go. We could do that. We could just not worry about it. That's probably the best course of action, isn't it? Was there a chicken out there? I haven't seen him. Robin Hood, once again, the ever-present word in this stream. You know what? I try and be a nice person. I try and be nice to everyone I meet because there's absolutely no point in being a dick. It doesn't do anything good for anybody. I don't know if I'm creative. Wouldn't say that, but. Well, thank you very much. I don't know who around here, I mean, you can see all these people out here, who would call the police on me for shooting this arrow? Huh. That's crazy. Oh, you've been shooting black powder, huh? That's always cool. I always thought about getting a black powder, 50 cal. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are creative. Absolutely. Huh. Oh, it's 11 o'clock in Slovenia right now? Yeah, I suppose you guys are kind of almost on the other side of the world there. That was a hell of a shot. Hola, how's it going? Whoa, that is a whole lot of German. Oh yeah, well it won't be too long and it'll be dark here too, to be honest with you. Yeah, I do. I do have 2 live streams going. I have a live stream where I just point one at, point a camera at my bird feeder. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I wish peace and prosperity to myself as well. And everyone else here, you know. I can speak English, kai ankaŭ mi povas paroli la Esperanton iomete. Mi estas nur komencanto, sed mi ŝatas studi la lingvon por divertido. Or well, I don't have any turkeys. Those are geese usually that go, by the bird feeder. Geese, ducks, chickens. Well, and then wild birds obviously comes. Mostly sparrows and blue jays and shit. There might be a guy on here with a turkey feeding bird cam though. I don't know. I've never seen it. Hopefully there is. Turkeys are cool. What do I prefer to eat wild? Ducks and pheasants, basically. Well, and then fish, wild caught fish from the rivers around here. I like that. I've never been to another country. I've only ever been in the United States. That's it. I'm not much of a traveler. Yeah, fish are good. Coons and opossums. No, well, I ate a coon one time. I ate barbecued coon, well, just coon meat made in a crock pot. Oh, you did? Yeah, I love eating trout. Can't really go wrong there. But I like eating northerns, walleyes, catfish. I catch a shitload of catfish. When I'm out shooting fish, usually what I'm doing is shooting carp, and then I feed those carp to my chickens. And sometimes I eat those, silver carp. They're not too bad. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got some coon toothpicks, do you? Do you pick your teeth with them? You polish them up though, huh? But yeah, I'm not so much of a coon trapper anymore. They're not worth a damn. You know, when I was a kid, minks, I used to trap minks all the time. They were worth like 20 bucks. Now I think a mink is worth like $2. You know, there's no point to even trapping them anymore. You know, I just feel bad. But at one time, I used to like to trap coons and minks when I was a kid. I didn't even know where you'd sell furs anymore, which is a shame. Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, I never was much of a muskrat trapper. I was always after minks, but there are an absolute shitload of muskrats around here. I mean, crazy. We don't have any nutria. I wish we did. Look at this bastard. I got this great big 900-pound cat here, though. Wonder what I'd get for him. This lazy bastard. He just come walking out of the barn. I like coons. You know, they're an interesting animal. I ain't got nothing against them. I don't like them living in the barn. You know, I get that happening every once in a while, and I got to kick them out of there. But yeah, that guy. I have actually quite a few cats on this place. They come wandering in, you know, looking for a free meal, and then they never leave. There's a lot of places around here where, you know, cats will walk for miles between farms. Oh, God. There's the famous Alex Jones quote. I don't know, what time is it here? It was like 4 o'clock, something like that. Yeah, you gotta watch out for that when you go swimming. All them chemically altered frogs, they'll get you. Huh. Well, boys, it's getting awful cold out. I think I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna have a fire. Have maybe some herbal tea. So I'll catch y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. You guys take her easy. There's a guy, looks like he's got some Korean there. All right, have a good night. Thanks for watching.